There are three deadly mistakes that are absolutely destroying your kick and the bass. And most music producers, 9 out of 10, they are doing these mistakes. And this is, in fact, why your tracks don't sound professional, why they don't sound in the clip, and why your kick and bass never can get close to the reference tracks that you love. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to fix those three mistakes so you can go from a kick and the bass like this to kick and the bass like this. All right, let's talk about problem number one, sound selection. And I see so many people are doing same mistake over and over again. It took me almost like 10 years to realize it until it finally clicked. So sound selection is like connecting two pieces of puzzle. It should just fit without any extra manipulations. You can process it, but if it doesn't sound good or fit from the beginning, no mixing technique will save bad sound selection. And I made a full video on sound selection yesterday if you guys want to check it out. And in the context of this video, let's just listen to two kicks. One is bad sound selection, one is good. So we are listening in the clip. And it just doesn't sound good. It just doesn't sound good compared to this one. Like so much power, so much energy. And even without the clip system, right? It just feels good. So guys, do not try to fix it in the mix. So if your kicks sound like this, then just replace it to something that sounds like this. And even without extra processing, it still fits pretty well. And in addition to the first tip, I'm also going to talk about the volume balance. So in my example, the kick and the bass have pretty much the same loudness. In some cases, one of the elements can be louder. Again, depends on the genre and the vibe you're going for. This is one of the most misunderstood things from my experience. It took me 8 years to realize that there's no rule for all. I used to believe that the kick must be plus 60 dB louder than the bass, and it ruined my mixes. So the best advice here, reference and go by ear. So one more example. Let's take the same kick and the bass and just play a little bit with the loudness, and you're gonna see that you can really easily destroy your kick and the bass. Sounding pretty good, right? But once I make the kick like this, which is around 60 dB, maybe a little bit less than that, it just kills the mix, right? And same gonna be for the bass. If it's gonna be like, it just doesn't carry the energy, right? But once we turn this back and we really fine tune the balance, again, I just go by ear. I listen. I really try to listen. Something like that. Again, it's a demo mix, but just to illustrate this. Tip number 2, kick and bass length. This is one of the most common mistakes I see producers do when working with kick and bass. If your kick and bass are overlapping, you are in trouble. It will sound weak and muddy on big clip system. And guys, it is so simple to fix, but most of you just don't realize the importance of it. So let's take this kick. It is super long. And once you play this with the bass, if it's gonna be like way too long, just listen to what it does to the lows. It absolutely kills it. This is of course an extreme example, but exactly the same thing is happening even if your kick is a little bit too long. It just doesn't let the bass to play, right? And then we can shorten the kick, and once I shorten the kick, let's shorten a bit more. Like this kick still, like it doesn't fit, but one example about the length, and then we can take the same kick here. Perfect length. But if I make it like a little bit too long, it's already like a little bit muddy. I don't like that. a bit too much. So listen to this. Something like 1.86. Like this, right? How do you work with the kick bass length? You really want to spend time on ADSR, guys, because if you ever listen to good sounding tracks, the secret to groove is exactly this. This is the secret to groove. Every single element, the drum one shot, the kick, the bass, once you dial in the ADSR, it will sound amazing. You will have nice groove, nice punch, and so on, right? So make sure that you spend some time on that. And a classic rule of thumb is it's either going to be short kick, long bass, or long kick and short bass. So again, there are no rules to this. If it sounds good, it sounds good. Just use your ears. Use your ears, bro. This is the best like piece of advice that I can give you. And one more tip to double check how your kick and bass work in terms of the length, in terms of the punch, is if you put a filter on the master channel like this and you just solo. Really nice, right? And then if I make it a little bit too much, so we want to something like it's just right. So I use this technique like in every single project. And then we solo, and you're gonna hear the very sub, which is really hard to hear like on speakers, because I produce on headphones most of the time. So this is gonna be it. All right, and the next tip, and this is going to be a game changer for the most of you guys, phase cancellation. This problem was plaguing me for almost 10 years until I finally understood how to align kick and bass together. Often, I wasn't thinking about that when making kick and bass, and no matter what I did in terms of mixing, it just didn't sound good. So, if the phase is not aligned, kick and bass frequencies will be canceling each other out, and it will not allow you to get a good sounding mix. So let me show you two examples. Here we have two exactly same kicks with the same phase. So once you play those two sounds, they're gonna stack on top of each other and they're gonna amplify each other. So let's go back to Ableton. I'm gonna play this for you. So we have this one kick, just a regular kick. So once we play the exactly same kick, it's a lot louder, right? But once you do like this and we flip the phase on the second one, it basically just destroys itself because the frequency, like the phase is canceling itself. So it basically goes against itself, and you can see no sound. And this is in fact what is happening to your kick and the bass, guys, when you don't spend time on phase alignment. Okay, guys, so let's talk about how to fix the phase. Depending on the synth you will use, it will give you a different way to work with the phase. In Serum, you can change it easily. Tweak the knob until your kick and bass sounds good. So we're going to be using it as it's very, very visual, because different synths might not be as visual. So let's go here, and I'm going to show you one example. So this is an aligned phase that I did. Check this out. We are listening in the club because it really shows you the problems that your bass may have. And for example, once I stop and once I flip the phase back to the original one, you can hear how much punch we are losing, and it's just like getting a bit like dirty. It just doesn't sound really good, right? And then we solo here. Just not good. And then one more time. This is so much better. This is so much better. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways how we can go about this. So number one is obviously going to be aligning the phase here in the synthesizer. So depending on the phase of your kick, you need to select the phase of the oscillators. So I already know that for this kick, if I'm not touching the phase, right? Here I'm not touching anything. It's just the kick from the sample pack. I know that to align it, I need to do like, phase should be like this. So pay attention to what's going to happen once I change the phase. we are starting to get problems. But depending on how you want your bass to sound, like we can still pick this phase. We can still pick this phase. But if you want to change it, maybe to this, because it changes the character of the bass line a little bit, all we really have to do is go back to the kick and then just flip the phase depending on the phase of the... So now it is off, so we need to go back. Yeah, so this is correct. And this is not very correct. So it is cancelling the bass. But there's, again, as I said, the other way to solve it is you just flip the phase here on the synth and it's going to be good. So it works both ways. You can either flip the phase on the synth, on the oscillator, or the kick. So those are the three fundamental mistakes that every single music producer doing. Again, I want to stress the importance of the phase. So you guys really want to play, really see like where it sounds best with the kick that you have. And then once you align the phase, your tracks, your bass, your low end will sound so much better, I can absolutely guarantee.